Hi, I'm Merritt. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Only Organized in My Planner, and today I am catching up on my reading journal. So I have printouts from multiple different places. Some of these are Plan with Elise, I believe, and some of them are Snow Fox. I'll link it down below. And so anyway, let's just sort of delve into what's going on. I'm caught up here with my 50 books. Okay, so I printed this out. I have completed 50 books. This one here says, haha, there are 51 books on this page. So I just sort of did that one in black. So 53 books that I have read. And so I'm going to get out my Arteza markers, not markers, color pencils that I have been using. Last night I was determined that I was going to finish this book in the month of May because I've been reading it for quite some time. It was an oral biography. I mean, it was a print book, but it was done through oral biography of Anthony Bourdain. And it was really good, but just because it was nonfiction, I struggle getting through those a little more than I do. Plus, I had a nonfiction, a fiction, and an audiobook going at the same time. So there were lots of things happening. But when I woke up yesterday morning, I had like maybe 50 pages left of this book. And so I was like, I'm going to finish it in May so I can include it in my May reading journal video. So there are the 53 books. Y'all, my goal, okay, so last year I read, I think only 20, somewhere between 27 and 29 books, and I can't ever remember which one it is. But my goal was to read 50 books, and I didn't. And so the beginning of this year, I was like, my goal is going to be to read 25 books. I know I can do it because I read 27 last year. And y'all, I went crazy in January. I read 15 books in the month of January. So by February, when I had completed 22 books, I was like, wait a minute, I need to up my goal to 50 books because there are times where I read more and I read less. And so I was like, well, let me change that to 50 books. I've completed 53 books and it's just May. So I'm not going to make my goal 100 books. I'm going to go 75 just in case. Or I can just say, you know what? My goal was 50. That's a little less than a book a week, right? 52 weeks in the year. And I have surpassed it by far. And so I'm really proud of myself for that. All right. So let's count how many books I have read in May so that we can complete this page. So what I do is the books that I read, I'm going to take this out for a second so you can see these pages. So what I do is when I start a book, or if it's come over from the last month, I write the day that I start it, and then I just sort of draw an arrow until when I finish it. So you see that Anthony Bourdain went from the beginning of the month to the last day of the month. And like Pineapple Street, I started here Wednesday the 1st and finished it on Friday the 10th. But then this book, Bringing Down the Duke, I read in 2 days. A Rogue of One's Own and Book Lovers, I read in one sitting. So I have my little key over here. So we're just going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books that I finished in May. So let's get where's my pen? This is a Write Tech 0.5, and they write really smoothly. All right, 10, this is April. No, I want it in May, duh. We're gonna use this, I guess, as 10 right here. And let's get my straight line. I guess I could have done this as a bar graph instead of a line graph, and it might have looked better, but it is what it is. Okay, so 10 books there. I'm caught up on my bingo. So this year I've read a romance, a thriller, obviously fiction, suspense, a New York Times bestseller, historical fiction, made for TV movie. I don't think I've read anything that's been banned. Set at the beach, LGBTQIA plus author or main character, African American author or main character, published in 2024. I've borrowed a book. I've finished a series. I've read a book set in Asia. I've read a book set in Europe. I've read a biography or memoir. I've read a Reese's book club. I have read books that were recommended by friends and books that were recommended on social media. I have started some books for work, but y'all, those are no fun to read. I know I need, like, there are 2 at least that I really need to read for work. But I haven't. I'm not sure if I've read an Oprah's book club. I kind of need to go and check to see if I have. Have not read a book set in Africa, so I am going to look into that so I can mark that off of my list. It's not imperative that I get through this, but y'all, it's May, and I've made great progress. All right, my 5-star reads. I am not caught up on this. So I have printed onto sticker paper my words merit. The covers. I printed the covers onto sticker paper. And usually I do this part with my, you know what? Let's do it. Usually I do it with my paper trimmer. I said that while I was digging it out, so I don't know if the camera mic picked that up. So let's just go ahead and chop these. If you've been around a while, you know that my paper trimmer is struggling. Like, it doesn't cut quite, it doesn't cut quite straight, because the little metal stringy thing that's supposed to help you line up is bent, and it is because I put too many pages in this thing at one time while I was making, I was putting together a book, and it didn't, this one seems too small, right? Why does that one seem, I sized them the same. So these are all, these are 0.75 by 1 inch. Okay, so if you look here, it says 1 by 1.5 inches, and that was what I did here. And then I forgot that I resized them because this was meant for 8 by 11.5 paper, and I sized it for a classic size Happy Planner, which is like 7.25 by 9. And I didn't make the adjustment, and I didn't reprint. And so it's going to look kind of crappy. But it's, you know, it's not that serious. It's just not that serious that it's not right. And it shows the journey that I went through in creating this reading journal. I did this. I created this journal, and then I don't know if you guys have seen Mary Ellen Planning with Bumble's book journal. Hers is a bujo, and y'all, it is like the cutest thing I've ever seen. And part of me is like, oh, I want to do that next year. Like, I really want to do it, and then I could keep multiple years in the same book journal, and that would be so cool. However, I am one of those people that, you know, where I read more than 50 books and I had to add in another page. If I did that in a bujo and I had to add in another page and I had to flip it to the back past everything, because you can't just put in a page like you do on discs, that would make me nuts. That would just drive me insane. Why do things like that make me crazy? But the fact that these stickers aren't all the same size drive me crazy? I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but it would drive me crazy. So but it's something to consider. It's something to think about. It could be one of those situations where if I were putting the paper trimmer away, if I were to do the book journal, I cut that. Oops. Too small. If I were to do the book journal, well, these are not, I don't know why my, I don't know if it's my printer or my computer, but these do not fit either, even though I typed them in to size them absolutely correctly. I think I read this one next, The Heiress. Okay, so while I'm putting these in, let's talk about my 5-star reads that I'm adding in. Okay, The Block Party was a mystery suspense about a neighborhood that had a block party on Memorial Day, and somebody ends up dead, and they're trying to find the killer. So that is that, but it's all about the intricacies of the people who live in the neighborhood and their relationships. Okay, The Heiress was about a very wealthy family in North Carolina in the mountains, and the prodigal son and his new wife come home to sort of save the house from his cousins. And there's some suspense in there that happens as well. The Forgotten Bookshop in Paris is a woman and her husband go on vacation to Paris, and because her grandmother was from there, and her grandmother didn't like to talk about Paris, and it flips between her modern day, but then also part of it is historical fiction, because then it goes back to the grandmother's day in World War II in Paris. So this was my book that was set in Europe, because it's all happens in France, and she ends up opening a bookshop, and she learns about herself, and she learns about her family, and it's sort of a nice story of discovering oneself. Okay, and then the last 5-star read that I read was Mary Jane, which is about a 15-year-old girl. I believe she's 15. And this drives me crazy that those aren't the right sizes, and I don't know why. Oh well. So anyway, the young girl goes to babysit her neighbor's child, and the family is very different from her family. This family is more open, and they have a famous person who the dad of the little girl that she's babysitting is a therapist, and they have a famous person who has addiction issues, who's coming to live with them, and she gets involved with the family and the famous people and all these things, and it's a sort of coming of age story for this young girl and her relationship with people in her family and the outside world and discovery of herself. So that was a really good book. I don't know that this one will be a 5-star for everyone, but I really loved it. And then I think let me hold that thought. Okay, my A to Z reading challenge. I keep reading books that start with the same letter. So I'm missing J, K, O, Q. Q is going to have to be with like quiet or quit maybe. O, Q, U, V, X, and Z. I don't know that X is going to happen. I haven't been purposefully looking for books that start with these. However, I may go through my TBR. I'll go look at my to be read list, the things I want to read. And if any of them fit in there, I may sort of prioritize those just because it's fun to fill in. All right. Let's do my May stats. All right. I'm going to pull this page out for a second. All right. I said I read 10 books, but did I read 9? Hold on, now I gotta count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't finish this one. Dadgummit. I'm still reading Wish You Were Here. That's the situation. Okay. So this one's going to be a carryover book. I'm going to have to go back and change. I'm going to have to go back and change the graph, but that's okay. All right. So in May, I read 9 books. You can find this information on Goodreads if you use Goodreads. I don't think you can see it on your phone, like on the app, but if you use Words, Merit, Words, if you use the computer, sorry, I started looking at something, I lost my train of thought. I don't know what just happened. Okay, squirrel. If you use the computer, and go to your reading stats, you can find these. All right, I read 3,371 pages. Yes, I count the audiobooks. Physical books. I read 1 physical book, Pineapple Street. I am going to read some physical books. I'm going to go probably next weekend and purchase some physical books because it's summertime and reading on the beach. I don't like to read on the beach on my phone or an iPad. I like to have a physical book. Yes, they get kind of yucky and the pages are, but it is what it is. I like a physical book on the beach. All right. Ebooks. Oh, that would be orange ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because book lovers in a rogue of their own were ebooks. 6 audiobooks. 1, 2, 6. Yeah. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9 books. And rereads, I didn't read anything for the second time. All right. So let's flip back to here. Okay, my yearly stats. All right, the book of the month. My book of the month for March was okay, The Block Party. Look, these aren't the right size either. Why? And I swear, like I measured with my, All right, and then my book of the month for April was Mary Jane. I'm going to do it in the middle so it sort of looks intentional. Okay. And then, like, why is the height right, but the width is wrong? I don't know. I just don't know. All right. And then my book of the month for May was Part of Your World. All right, so let's talk about this. These types of books, these little romancy books, I feel like I always give them 4s even when I love them. And I think that what I need to do is, instead of basing like a romance book in the same way that I would do a mystery book or something that is more like just a fiction that's not a romancy book. I need to judge it within its own genre, because when I compare them to like other books, this is not a 5. But when I compare it to romance books, it is a 5. And so like I gave it a 4, but it still made my book of the month. Like it's still, so like here, Part of Your World, I mean, like that's my book of the month. So yeah, so I don't know how to do that. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Should I base it on all books, or should I base it my star rating on that particular genre? So let me know. Let me know how you would do that. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in. There we go. All right. So now, in the horizontal, this is where I put, like, I'll put the stickers and I give like a little description of what happened. So anyway, so that one was still from April the 29th, but then, Pineapple Street, I finished on the 10th. So like here, I write down the day I started it, like the 1st, and then I do my arrow into the 10th, but I write here the day that I finished it. So, that way if I have a did not finish book, it doesn't go in this part. My review of Pineapple Street was a 2-star. Obnoxious rich girls, no plot. They pretend to be philanthropists. You kind of want to feel sorry for them, or they want you to feel sorry for them, but they're too damned annoying. I did not find the characters relatable or likable at all. However, my daughter, I do out of 5 stars. My daughter does out of 10 stars. I gave it to her. It was a physical book, and I was like, here, have it. She rated it an 8 out of 10. So a 4 out of 5. So different strokes, right? Maybe an age difference situation thing. But I found the characters annoying, and I didn't look at the reviews before I read it. But after I read it and rated it, I looked, and apparently this woman is a publisher, not a writer, and she is a publisher who, anyway, we'll just leave it there. Welcome Home, Caroline Klein. I thought Caroline was kind of annoying, but I think I would have liked her and the book better if I hadn't listened to it on audiobook. So the sort of plot is Caroline leaves New York City to take care of her sick dad in Jersey. She takes his place on the men's softball team while rekindling old flames and old enemies. So yeah, if I were to do this one again, well, I won't, but if I had to do it again, I would have done it. I would have read it and not audiobooked it. Book lovers, literary agent Nora and editor Charlie are enemies whose worlds collide in Sunshine Falls, North Carolina, after Nora's sister forces her to take a vacation. This was a cute book. And again, if I were to rate this out of romance books, I might have rated it a 5. So that's that 4. Maybe I need to purchase the little star rating, so I can give half ratings. Okay. Good Girl by Trisha and Mally. I would have given this a 1, but I reserve 1s for did not finish. And y'all, I really don't ever not finish a book. Like if it's so bad that I don't finish it, then it's a 1. So really a 2. If I finish a book, a 2 is the lowest I'm gonna go. So that means it was pretty bad. So yeah, so this girl goes to this island to escape her terrible job and her asshat parents. It is a cheesy book with mermaids, bad lovemaking scenes. I mean, the idea was kind of cute, but it was a fail. It just, even the vocabulary was not rich. Like it was, the content was adult, but the lexile level, if you know what that means, the vocabulary and sentence structure could have been written for like middle schoolers or lower. Like it just was not I mean, I finished it, but it was a 2. There's a whole series. I think there's 7 books in this series. I'm not going to read another one. So there's that. Okay, Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. I think I've already said if I were to rate this on the genre, it would be a 5. ER Dr. Alexis falls for small town carpenter Daniel and must decide if love is worth giving up her family legacy. So this is really cute. A few of the things were a little predictable, but such as romance goes. I read the first 2 books in, I can't remember what the name of this series is. That's pretty bad. They are historical fiction romances. My daughter read these and she recommended them to me. I didn't put my ratings. I think I gave this one was a 3 and this one was a 4. My sweet daughter is just, what is the word? Like, she's just a goody. Like, she's just a sweet girl. Like, I lucked out with this child. And anyway, I gave this one 4 stars. When she told me about these books, she told me that they were steamy. And so I'm thinking like 50 Shades steamy. I mean, not quite 50 Shades steamy, but I'm thinking, I've read some steamy books. I don't always put them in here. I don't count those in this because I'm not going to show y'all some of the books. But I was thinking a little steamy. Y'all, these are not that steamy, like not really. So anyway, in the first book, Annabelle these are set in England. So a fiercely independent vicar's daughter takes on a powerful duke in a love story that threatens to upend the British social order. I think that I used the description from Goodreads on both of these. I think I was just tired and didn't want to have to think. So, and this one says, Lady Lucy must pit her wits against the wiles of an irresistible rogue. I obviously did use that from Goodreads. Those are not my words. Bent on wrecking her plans to use her new publishing house to support women's rights. So that one was good. Then I read Thursday. I finished Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, and I gave it 4 stars. Murder mystery on an Australian train that is the location of a mystery authors festival. It is told in the first person. The author breaks the 4th wall. I know there's not a 4th wall in a book, but you get what I'm saying. To make the reader feel part of the story. When I looked at it, I didn't realize it was a sequel. So you didn't have to read the first one to get it. I really enjoyed it. I liked that he sort of let you in on things like in the writing process. Like one of the things he says is, by the time the murder happens, I will have used the murderer's name 206 times. And then like periodically throughout the book, he gives you a count of how many times he's used the murderer's name. Like, to me, like, it's kind of witty like that. And I enjoyed it. The reason that I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 is he makes a point to include the reader in on the knowledge of what he's doing. But then when he confronts someone about the murder, there are wild jumps in accusations that he hasn't filled you in on details that would have led you to understand why those accusations would have happened. And that sort of bothered me a little bit. So that's why that one was 4 stars. And then, so Friday, I was determined to finish it before the end of the month. I finished Bourdain, the definitive oral biography. It was good, but it just was slow. And I think that books that are oral biographies sometimes work that way. I read another one that was about like the music scene in New York in the early 2000s that was an oral biography, and it also sort of got on my nerves. But anything about Anthony Bourdain is going to be good. So there we go. Well, let me rephrase that. I love Anthony Bourdain. So yeah. So anyway, that is it for the month of May. But let's go back and finish let's fix this. Where's the whiteout? I don't know where my good whiteout is. I feel, oh, literally sitting on my desk. All right, let's take that away. Grab my ruler. Maybe it's my ruler is jacked up. Like, I wonder, I don't know. Like, because it doesn't, the zero doesn't start on the end. Like, I wonder if that's, that can't be it. Like, that's still an inch. An inch is still an inch, right? That makes zero sense. I don't know. All right, so we're going to go May, and we're going to go to 9 books. I guess we'll use right about there. So let me hit that dot off. Now, let's fix this. Okay, there we go. All right, so quick flip through. This is second page of 53 books. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was talking about the Bujo. Oh, well, y'all, I've lost my train of thought so much in this video, it's not even funny. If I only did the front page, like if I made all of the tracker things on the front page, then if I needed to add something in, I would always have the back page to add it in on. A thought, possibly. Anyway, so because this was the first one, and then I just added this in on top of it. And if I read more than 100 books, then I will slap another one right there. So it works. So my 53 books, my monthly book count of 9, my book bingo, which I'm really only lacking 4, 5-star reads that I got to get I got to figure out what's happening here. My A to Z challenge, I'm not missing too many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters in the alphabet that I'm missing. My yearly statistics. The only thing that drives me crazy about this is like with authors, I do per month, right? So I read 8 authors this month, 8 different authors. But one of these 8 is the same one that I read in April. So if I were to add these totals up, it's not going to be the correct number of authors. Now, everything else will be right, but that one will not be. So that throws me a little bit, and I would have to go back and manually figure that out, and that's kind of a pain. So I don't know that I'm going to worry about the total of authors that I read. Okay, my books of the month, First Lie Wins for January, the last one in February, Block Party in March, Mary Jane in April, Part of Your World in May, and then my winner for out of January, February is First Lie Wins, and the Block Party and Mary Jane is Mary Jane, and then I've got First Lie Wins as the book there. And then here, Part of Your World for May, and we will see what the book of the month is in June. I've read 53 books. I don't know that I'm going to link them all. I'll link the books that I read in May below. How about that? So if I do have an Amazon affiliate, I might make a little bit of money if you purchase the books on Amazon, but it's at no cost to you. But yes, I will link. How about I link my 5-star reads and I link the books in May? I'll do that for you. So anyway, and then there's my monthly here, and then all of the books that I have read this month with a brief description. So then I'm ready to start June. Today, as I'm filming, is June 1st. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you have any ideas or suggestions, any book suggestions, hit me up. If you have suggestions on books that begin with these letters that I have not been able to read yet, let me know that as well. I don't use the word the as T, by the way, or the word a or an I don't use articles as part of the, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, give me some suggestions about my book journal. Give me some suggestions about books to read. I am going to the beach twice this summer, and I'm flying to New York, so I need a book on a plane. So let me know. Okay, thanks for watching. And if you would like to see more of my videos, please hit that subscribe button. I'm getting oh so close to 1,000 subscribers, and would love it if you would like to join. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.